be Oklahoma City. Jay Swick here live from the Super Preps Showcase at the TB Fitness Club. Nothing better to do on a Saturday than to watch these guys hoop and showcase their athletic ability, and who knows, maybe they end up with a scholarship today. That's what it's all about. Our title sponsors for the Super Prep Showcase: TB Fitness Center, Echo Sports, Red Dirt Furniture, Cricket Wireless, and of course, us, OKC Sports Radio 105.3. I'm here with head coach Landon Huey, head coach of USAO Sooner Athletic Conference, one of the top basketball conferences in the country in the NAIA. And if you've been tuned in to OKC Sports Radio, you know we just got done broadcasting the national championship the other day, the Final Four, all of it. We've been heavy on the Sooner Athletic Conference this year. It's a great product, Coach. I have an immense respect for NAI basketball, and I keep telling folks, this is no joke. I know it's easy to get wrapped up in Division I and OU and OSU, but when you go to an NAIA basketball game, you realize real quick these are grown men, and they are competing, and there's a lot of talent here, and it takes a lot to win. Talk about how long you've been at USAO. Talk about your program a little bit.
Well, Jay, I want to piggyback on your thoughts on NAI for just a second. If you're listening and you haven't been to an NAI game, come watch one, even if it's not us. Get in the gym, watch NAI basketball. Don't knock on it, don't sleep on it until you come tune in live. A lot of big-time athletes, a lot of high-quality basketball being played. And our league is so special. I can't say enough about the Sooner Athletic Conference.
It's a grind.
It is.
I mean, there's like a 2-game difference between the number 1 seed in the conference and like the 8th seed.
Oh, don't remind me. It makes me sick to my stomach to think about it. There's no nights off. It's the SEC football schedule in college basketball.
That's exactly right.
On any given night, you better show up or somebody's going to step on your neck. And that's the harsh reality of it. So many good coaches, so many good programs, so many good, elite, talented basketball players. It's highly, highly competitive stuff.
Well, and I admire what you're doing over there at USAO. Again, it's a grind on a day-to-day basis. And you and your team have had some big-time upsets. I know some people have counted you out at certain times, and you've risen to the occasion. First of all, how long have you been head coach over there? And talk a little bit about your program.
For sure. I've been at USAO for 2 seasons. This is our 3rd year, and this will be a big year for us. The way we're doing it, you don't see as much in college basketball anymore, where we're trying to build it up as a program. We bring players in that we can retain, that we can develop. I think we're really elite at the player development side of things, and hopefully that continues to pay off for us. We keep taking strides. This will be a big year to see really if you can continue to do it this way or not. And the challenges of building it up as a program are if kids transfer out at a faster rate than you can develop them,
right,
it doesn't work. But we've got a good group coming back. We've got 10 guys coming back, and then we've already signed 2 in-state kids, Aiden Clark out of Broken Arrow, Drew Reynolds out of Mustang. I think about 2/3 of our team is Oklahoma-based, so nobody's doing it more with Oklahoma kids than us, and I'm really proud of that. But at the end of the day, I could care less of where they're from. I want to win.
Right.
I want to win. I want to do it the right way. I do believe we can do that with Oklahoma kids, though.
Well said. Coach Landon Huey, head coach of USAO. When you go to events like this and you see an abundance of different athletes, what are you looking for specifically?
Some of it, I'll be one over today, but a lot of it comes down to our positional needs. So if you're a point guard, but I don't need a point guard this year, I'll follow you if you go to a junior college. Maybe we can stay in touch and I can bring you in the future. That's probably where it starts for us. And so if we're not actively recruiting you, that doesn't mean that I don't respect you as a player, that I'm not interested. It just begins with what do we need?
Right.
And hopefully as we continue to build a program and we bring players back every year, hopefully I can be a little bit more selective because we've got good players already.
Well, and next year you might be looking for more guards.
For sure.
This time around right now here today, you're looking for more of a 4 and a 5 and maybe a stretch 3?
There's never enough size to go around.
Right.
As we look at players, there's 3 things that really come to mind. First is a highlight skill. Does this player fit a need for us? And if you're a player, you're listening in, if you email a coach, I kind of like to see 2 things. One, send me your highlights, specifically highlights from one game. Anybody, even a bad player, is going to have enough highlights over the course of the season. But if you can send me highlights from 1 or 2 big games, now I know he's not doctoring it. He's not stretching or fabricating it a little bit. This is real stuff. And then 2, send me a link to some full game film, because highlights get my attention. Full game film lets me break it down even further. Let me see you at moments where you're not the one taking the shot.
Right. Or what you're doing when the ball's not in your hands.
100%.
How are you affecting the game?
100%. And with that, if any of these kids would watch one of their games and get out a stopwatch and click it every time the ball's in their hand and turn it off every time it's not, most of the game is played without the basketball in your hand. So that's so big. Just to piggyback on that, Jay, that how can you impact the game when you don't have the basketball? Half of the game's on the defensive end, but even most of the offensive time, you don't have the basketball. So
yeah.
Can you move? Can you play in space? Can you set screens for others? All of that's important to me, and that doesn't necessarily show up on highlight film.
What do you look for first? Is it somebody with just a high motor, a lot of energy, aggressive on defense, rebounding, or do you get enamored, like I think most people do, with the scoring and the outside shooting?
I try not to get enamored, and to be honest, the way our offense is, we've been able to turn average offensive players into really special offensive players. But that's getting them, again, that's the player development, that's getting them to buy into our offense, teaching them to play in space. So that's important. I need to know that they're capable of it.
Right.
But that's not the end-all, be-all. We can help them achieve those things. So for me, it's the highlight skill. I'm glad you touched on motor. That's a huge one. I don't need guys that can play really well but only do that 20% of the time.
Right.
Consistency wins games. And so that's a big one for me, high motor. And then the last one is the character component. And it's not last in order of priority, but I want high-quality kids.
Yeah, good teammates.
For sure. I need guys that I can trust. Don't be deceitful to me. If you say you were in class, you better have been in class. If you lie to me about that and I can't trust you, well, then I can't trust you in the game with, when the outcome of the game's on the line.
Right.
So it all goes hand in hand. But we're getting there. We're building it up the right way. I think we won. I don't know the exact numbers. I try to stay away from looking at records and stuff, but I think we won maybe 8 of the final 10 games. Don't quote me on that. We were playing really good basketball down the final stretch. I wish that we could have been playing at that level a little bit more mid-season. But the good thing about it is we were peaking at the right time. Now the challenge is, as we bring back so many, can we start off this next year in that same stride?
Well, and you're in, like you use the term SEC of basketball at NAIA level. I very much believe that. I look at all of the different teams from, MACU to Langston, USAO, OCU. I mean, they are just tenacious programs with a lot of basketball knowledge, a lot of great coaches. I'm a big fan of Josh Gamblin over there at MACU. I'm impressed with the league as a whole, and I know that you've got your work cut out for you, Coach. I mean, you're always on the look for talented and good kids, coachable kids. I think is very, very important. Now you've been to events like these before. Where does this one stand? Are you impressed with kind of what you're seeing here today?
10 out of 10. I'm excited to get my hands on the combine drill numbers. I mean, this is legit. It's like an NBA combine over there. And while, the data doesn't ever completely erase just the gut feeling that a coach has in terms of recruiting a player, it's important. It helps us to maybe justify why we like a player, or maybe take a second look at a kid that we had kind of written off in the first place. This is big time, and it shows the kids areas that they might need to get better at. I saw on one of the drills over there, I was looking at one of the kids' cards, and it has the D1, the average D1 time on this. And I think that's a great comparison tool to realistically show them where they're at.
Shout out to Echo Sports with that one. That's clutch.
For sure.
I'm interested to just kind of know your recruiting timeline. I mean, the season just ended, and you're hitting the recruiting trail. Is this the biggest time for you, the most important time as a coach when scouting players, adding players, and how much do you get to do that throughout the season or before the season?
I'm going to pause it before I answer this because it just seems like everything's changed in recent years.
I've heard a lot of coaches talk about the calendar.
It is.
And it's ever-changing, and so there's a right time, the wrong time to recruit or talk to players. What's been your experience?
With most of the kids that we know that we're interested in, and some of these kids might not even know it. They're younger, but their name's already on our board. So I'm here today, even though we might not have established a real relationship with them yet, I know who they are, and we've been following them. With the 2 high school kids that we signed from Broken Arrow and Mustang, I mean, we've been on them for a while. That's not just a split, just a real quick decision. That's an investment of time. We've been building a relationship with us, getting to know them as people. Again, and none of this is perfect. No coach is going to bat 1,000, but making sure that they're people that we can build around, not just this fall, but for years to come. And I think we can. The timeline's changed, though. With the portal, I mean, the Division I portal hasn't even opened yet. It opens, I think, next week now. And so that's going to be another big wave of students that are looking for landing spots. The harsh reality of it, I'm not saying it's right, but a lot of those kids aren't going to consider NAI opportunities until they realize the other D1s aren't calling.
Right.
And so with that, I think we're sitting really good right now. We've got a good group coming back. We've signed a few already. I'm in no hurry. I'm not in any rush. We're going to do our due diligence in making sure that we're getting high-quality prospects, high-quality people to join us for this fall.
Well, and I think you hit on something that I think parents and athletes need to know. It's not an immediate thing. Okay, wow, you just made a great play. Here's a scholarship. Right. You're doing your research over a long period of time, and you're analyzing it and talking to people that are familiar with that player. And I think people need to know that. I think it's real easy to get caught up in the instant gratification. Oh, so-and-so got an offer. That's not something that just happens on a whim like that. You do your research and you do your homework and make sure, and then you double check it once it's all done.
Your first date with the girl, you're not going to ask her to marry you.
There you go.
It's the same thing here. Recruiting is a relationship. There's a process to it. We're not in a hurry. We will be later this summer, but we're not right now. We're going to make sure we get the right people. And in terms of the social media component, it's tough. I don't know what to tell the kids, especially those coming out of high school. It's never been tougher to be recruited as a high school athlete. There's a logjam of experienced players at the top. And the way that the NCAA keeps granting extra years of eligibility, it's tough. It's incredibly tough. For us, what we do is when we offer a kid, and a lot of times people don't even realize the work that we're putting in, that offer's between us and them.
Right.
I don't want them to tweet it out.
Right.
Because as we build this up the right way, there's going to be some bigger programs than us that they're like, oh, USAO offered a kid again. Let's go offer him too.
Gotcha.
But they didn't do their research. We're the ones that did the legwork on it and decided it's the right fit for us. And so selfishly, I want to keep that information to ourselves. Selfishly, if another school doesn't like them until we like them, do they really like them? I don't know. I try to stay out of the politics. I try to stay out of the social media. They had to twist my arm a little bit to even come be on this radio with you over here.
Well, now you're spilling all the secrets, Coach.
Oh, there's a lot more to it than this. This is just the surface. But I want high-quality people, and I can't stress that enough. But we're also not the Boy Scouts. we got to win some basketball games too.
That's right.
And so getting high-quality people that are high-quality basketball players. And then there's something about coaching. You know, the whole job of a coach is to help kids reach their potential. And sometimes it's a potential they don't even realize. That they know they're good, but they don't realize what they're capable of. And so getting kids that will come in and let us hold them accountable, it's not always pretty. It's not always fun. And even that's challenging anymore when it's so easy to transfer if coach starts holding you accountable and you don't like it. But getting players that will allow us to coach them and push them, and then seeing the results of it when a kid who came here 2 years ago and could barely touch the rim and now he's dunking with ease, or a kid that was never known as a shooter goes 15 for 20 in a drill the other day, like, now we're talking. Now we're talking. And that takes time. You can't cheat that process, but that's what we're doing right.
Great conversation, Coach. I really do appreciate it. Coach Landon Huey, USAO out of Chickasha, Oklahoma. Watching from afar what you guys doing. You got a great program. You're so calculated with the decisions that you make, and you have to be in order to find success. And you're doing a great job, you and your staff. And I'm excited you're here, and I think the kids are really excited that you're here. And I hope you can eventually, maybe take a couple home with you, back to USCO play next year. I know you're bringing 10 back, which is good. I mean, just that automatically gets me excited for you guys next season to have that many experienced players. And then you've got the 2 kids from Broken Arrow Mustang. Mustang just coming off a bad beat in the state championship game, but what a program they're a part of.
For sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for USAO, Coach.
I am too. Now, don't put a target on our back. The way we operate, I'd like to just be able to sneak in and touch base with you middle of next year, and you're like, hey, you're right, it worked out. But the last thing we need is a target on our back. Everybody's trying to win. Winning's so tough anyway.
Right.
I just want to keep our nose to the grindstone. Work behind. Well, we almost got taken out.
Yeah, we did.
Just work behind closed doors, and that's my main focus.
Right.
Can we win the day? As cliche as it sounds, can we get better each day this summer? And if we do that, the results will take care of themselves.
Well, I look forward to seeing what's next, coming up in the fall, and you got a big summer ahead of you. Yeah, NAIA basketball, I love it. I can't wait to see what's next with USAO. Coach Landon Huey, thank you so much, Coach, for coming on.
I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with more Super Prep Showcase coming up next on OKC Sports Radio 105.3 KMB.